how many humans were conjured, for lack of a better word? Because there's Adam, right? Adam's first made, and then Eve, of course, comes from the rib. There might be some places cite there's like a third or first female, Lilith, in some translations or whatever. It says, oh, man was created with woman, and that one's highly contestable. Mostly exists in European folklore and Jewish mysticism, I want to say. But one particular thing that always sticks out to me is in Genesis, right after Abel and Cain, after Cain kills Abel, he's marked. He doesn't remark. The first thing he says is, "Surely they will kill me." Who's he talking about? There's three people on Earth. He's one of them. And then another thing is, then he's banished, right? He leaves, and he goes from east from the Garden of Eden into the land of Nod, and it just says he finds a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
So where did they get their wives, and where did they get these other people? Where did they come from? And so that's the question I'm hearing. Is that the gist? Okay.
Yeah.
So Genesis 5, there's one little verse, and it says, and Adam and Eve had other sons and daughters. Other sons and daughters. And so now remember, back then, their genetics had not yet accumulated mutations.
Yeah, there's actually a researcher who developed some computer models based on human mutation rates, and so he labeled the degeneration of the human genome as genetic entropy. So his name's John Sanford. He's a Cornell University professor. So the human genome, since its original creation, has not been evolving and getting better. It's been devolving or getting worse over time. So that's why eventually, several thousand years after the creation, you get these Mosaic laws. Hey, you don't need to be marrying, someone that's closely genetically related to you. But before that, it wasn't a problem. So
In
we
fact,
know
Abraham married his half-sister.
Yeah, Abraham
no
married
problem.
his half-sister, but there were several studies put out in 2012. They came out about the same time. One was in Nature, one was in Science, where they actually sequenced what's called the human exome, which is just the protein coding segments of the human genome. And they did thousands of people across the United States and Europe and so forth. And they found out that over 80% of those single base variations, which they called rare variants, were all associated with diabetes, heart disease, cancer, things like that. So the human genome is not in a great state right now. That's why we see so much illness, so many health problems, and so forth amongst people across the world. But
So my point being, wind the clock back, and you get genetically perfect people, genetically perfect couple, for whom sisters marrying brothers is no problem at all. In fact, who knows what size, shape, or color might have popped out, because they had all the variation represented across the world today was wrapped up in the genomes of just two people.